Giving ladies gas cylinders or giving people bank accounts is not a bad thing, it's a good thing.
ब्रिटेन की कैम्ब्रिज यूनिवर्सिटी में लेक्चर देने गए कांग्रेस नेता राहुल गांधी ने मोदी सरकार की तारीफ की। स्पीच के दौरान एक शख्स ने उनसे पूछा कि क्या आप नरेंद्र मोदी की उन अच्छी नीतियों के बारे में बता सकते हैं जो भारत के हित में हैं। इसके जवाब में राहुल गांधी ने क्या कहा, पहले वो सुनिए।
I mean, I could think about it and say, yeah, okay, maybe that policy that he's done is not a bad policy, right? Maybe giving ladies gas cylinders or giving people bank accounts is not a bad thing, it's a good thing. But that sort of misses the point, right? Because in my view, Narendra Modi is destroying the architecture of India. So I'm not too bothered about 2 or 3 good policies that he's doing if he's blowing my country to smithereens or our country to smithereens, right? And I think that's what he's doing. I think he is imposing an idea on India that India cannot absorb, right? India, as I said, is a union of states. It's a negotiation. And if you try to force one idea on a union, it'll react, right? I mean, I've got a Sikh gentleman sitting here, right? He's from the Sikh religion. You come from India? He comes from India, right? We've got Muslims in India. We've got Christians in India. We've got different languages in India, right? They're all India. Mr. Narendra Modi says he's not. Mr. Narendra Modi says he's a second-class citizen in India, right? I don't agree with him. Now, if your disagreement is so fundamental, then really talking about 3 policies that you agree with, I think misses the point. I myself had Pegasus on my phone. Large number of politicians have Pegasus on my phone, on their phone. I've been called by intelligence officers who tell me, listen, please be careful what you're saying on the phone because we are sort of recording this stuff. So this is a constant pressure that we feel. Cases on opposition. I've got number of criminal libel cases for things that, you know, should under no circumstances be criminal libel cases, but that's the story. We're facing an attack on the basic structure of Indian democracy. In the Constitution, India is described as a union of states, and that union requires a negotiation, requires a conversation. Here you can see that picture. That picture is taken in front of Parliament House, and that's where a whole bunch of opposition members of Parliament were just standing there talking about certain issues, and we were just locked up and put in jail. And that's happened 3 or 4 times, right? And it's happened relatively violently. Indian democracy is a public good, okay? Because it is by far the biggest democracy. At least 50% of people who live in a democratic space live in India. And so preserving and defending Indian democracy is more than just about India. It's actually about defending the democratic structure and the democratic system on the planet. We arrive in Kashmir, and Kashmir is this so-called violent place. And as I'm entering Kashmir, the security guys come to me and say, listen, we need to talk to you. So what do you need to say? And they say, well, look, the thing is, you can't walk in Kashmir, right? It's not a good idea. We're walking 3 days, and we're walking 3 days in the roughest districts. So you can't walk in Kashmir. It's a bad idea. So I'm like, why can't I walk in Kashmir? And they're like, well, because you'll get hand grenades thrown on you. And so I go and have a little word with them and say, look, they're telling us they're going to get hand grenades thrown at us. And they're like, okay. So they're like, yeah, we should all walk. And so we decided we're going to walk. And then the really interesting thing happens. So we've been told we're going to be killed. We're walking. And people are coming. And then one guy looks at me and he says, call me. So I'm like, come. And then he says, you see those guys over there? And we're walking. And he says, you see those guys over there? And I'm like, yes, who? He's like, those boys over there. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, the militants. And they're looking at you. So I look at them, and they give me this sort of, I'm serious, they give me this sort of look. And I'm like, okay, I'm now in trouble, right? Because this guy's just told me this, they give me this look, and I give them this look back, and then we carry on, nothing happens. So that to me was an indicator of the power of listening and non-violence.
इसके अलावा राहुल गांधी ने महात्मा गांधी की दांडी यात्रा और अमेरिका और चीन जैसे देशों पर भी बात की। इवेंट के बाद राहुल गांधी ने अपने सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर लेक्चर की कुछ तस्वीरें भी शेयर की हैं। वैसे लंदन पहुंचने पर राहुल गांधी का जो ट्रिम्ड बियर्ड लुक है वो सबसे ज्यादा सुर्खियों में रहा। राहुल नए लुक में कैम्ब्रिज यूनिवर्सिटी पहुंचे थे तो एक फैन ने उनके साथ एक फोटो भी शेयर की थी। इसमें राहुल सेट की हुई दाढ़ी, कोट और टाई में नजर आ रहे हैं।